So this is more of an in-depth look at my Korvold Fae Cursed King deck. We've got flying, and whenever Korvold Fae Cursed King enters the battlefield or attacks, we sacrifice another permanent. And whenever you sacrifice a permanent, we put a +1/+1 counter on Korvold, and we draw a card. So by sacrificing things, we get to draw, and we get to buff for Korvold. So we are going to have quite a few token generating things in here. Things that also sacrifice, so we get that value again off of Korvold's trigger of sacrificing things. So let's take a look at what we've got in our deck. So here are a few of the miscellaneous things first. We've got Once Upon a Time. So if this spell is the first spell we've cast this game, we can cast it without paying its mana cost. We can look at the top 5 cards of our library. We can reveal a creature or a land card from among them and put them into our hand. And we put the rest on the bottom of our library in any order. We've got Abundant Harvest. So we get to choose a land or an on-land. We get to reveal cards from the top of our library until we reveal a card of the chosen kind. We put that card into our hand, and the rest on the bottom of our library in any order. Or, sorry, in a random order. We've got Paradise Druid. So here's a little bit of ramp. It has hexproof as long as it's untapped. And we can tap it for a mana of any color. We've got Leyline Prowler. It's got Death Touch and Lifelink, and we could tap it for a mana of any color. We've got an Arcane Signet, so we can tap it for a mana of any color in our commander's color. A little bit of removal here. We've got a Sunder Shaman, so he can't be blocked by more than one creature. When he deals combat damage to a player, we can destroy target artifact or enchantment the player controls. A little more removal here with a Thrashing Brontodon. We could pay 1 and sack it, so we can get that sacrifice trigger off Korvold. And we can destroy target artifact or enchantment. We've also got Death Sprout. So we could destroy target creature and search our library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle our library. And we've got Vraska. Really, I got Vraska in here because I think she looked cool, but she's a tad bit expensive, or on the expensive side. If we +2 her, we could put a +1 counter on up to 1 target creature. That creature gains menace until end of turn. So we can get Korvold some menace, make him harder to block. We can also -3 her, so we could destroy target creature. So a bit of removal. And if we ever get to the -10, for each creature card in our graveyard, we put a +1 counter on each creature we control. So let's get to the big part here. We're going to be making tokens. Different tokens of different kinds. We've got a sub theme of squirrels in this deck, so you might be seeing a few of those. So to start here, we got a Nested Shambler. When the Nested Shambler dies, we're going to create X tapped 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens, where X is the Shambler's power. So if we can up the power on the Nested Shambler, we can get more squirrels. Yay. We got the Dray Keeper. It enters the battlefield. We create 2 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens. And if we pay 3 and a black, squirrels we control get +1/+0 and gain menace. We've got a Scurry Oak. It's got Evolve. So when a creature enters the battlefield, if it's has greater power or toughness than this creature, we get to put a +1 counter on it. And whenever 1 or more +1 counters are put on Scurry Oak, we can create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. We've also got a Tireless Provisioner. So it's got landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under our control, we create a food or a treasure. We have Experimental Confectioner. When it enters the battlefield, we'll create a food token. And whenever we sack a food, we create a 1/1 black rat creature token with this creature can't block. So it starts off with food, and then we get to create rats. We've got Mahadi, Emporium Master. So at the beginning of our end step, we create a creature. We create a treasure token for each creature that died this turn. So that'll go good with sacrificing creatures. We'll be able to create some treasure tokens off of that. We've got Underworld Hermit. So when it enters the battlefield, we create a number of 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens equal to our devotion to black. We've got the Advera Hellkite. It's got flying. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, you create a 6/6 red dragon creature token with flying. I think the only dragons I have in here is the Hellkite here and Korvold, but that's okay. Even getting that one dragon token is nice. Oh, no, I got another dragon. Look at that. We got Old Gnawbone. How could I forget him? Or her. It's got flying, and whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, we create that many treasure tokens. That's a pretty sweet card for creating tokens. Speaking of token creators that are pretty sweet, we got Krenko, Tin Street Kingpin. So when it attacks, we put a +1 counter on it, and we create a number of 1/1 red goblin creature tokens equal to Krenko's power. And of course, we've got Chatterfang, the Squirrel General. It's got Forest Walk, and if one or more tokens would be created under our control, those tokens plus that many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens are created instead. So this is one that you'll really want out there while you're creating all these tokens. If we pay a black, we get to sacrifice X squirrels, again triggering Korvold, and target creature gets +X, -X till end of turn. We're not done with the token generation yet. We've still got some more. So we've got Ulvenwald Mysteries. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, we investigate. And so that should synergize pretty good with the sacrifice theme. And whenever we sacrifice a clue, we create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. We got a Cloakwood Hermit. So commander creatures you own have at the beginning of your end step, if a creature card was put into your graveyard from anywhere this turn, create 2 tapped 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens. We've also got Dread Horde Invasion. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose a life and you amass 1. And whenever a zombie token you control with a power 6 or greater attacks, it gains lifelink till end of turn. That most likely won't happen. We're just creating the amass token or the army token there so we can sack it. But we'll get one every turn. If you don't sack it, it grows bigger. If you do, it's worth losing that 1 life. We've got Fae Offering. At the beginning of each end step, if you've cast both a creature spell and a non-creature spell, we create a clue, a food, and a treasure. We've also got a Blood Fountain. So when it enters, we create a blood token. That's pretty much the end of it for making tokens for this one. But if you pay 3 and a black and tap it, we can sacrifice the fountain. And we return up to 2 target creature cards from our grave to our hand. So sacking it will trigger Korvold, and we get to bring 2 creatures back. We've got a Ceremonial Knife. So equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has, whenever this creature deals combat damage, create a blood token. We've got a Witch's Oven. So it does 2 things. When you tap it, you sack a creature. And then we get to create a food token. And if the sacrificed creature's toughness was 4 or greater, we get 2 food tokens. We've also got Chatterstorm. So it's got Storm, which means for every spell we've cast before it, we get to make a copy of it. And we get to create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. We've got Taste of Death. It's a little pricey, but each player sacrifices 3 creatures. That includes ourselves. And we create 3 food tokens. We've got Baked into a Pie, some removal here, so we can destroy target creature, and we create a food token. Bit more removal with Crack Open. We destroy target artifact or enchantment, and we create a treasure token. And thought I'd show this anyway. We got Restless Cottage. The important part is you could pay 2 and a black and a green, and it becomes a 4/4 black and green horror creature until the end of turn. And when it attacks, we create a food token. So if you have nothing better to do with your mana, why not create a horror token that makes a food? So we're going to get into the sacrificing things. But before we do, we're going to look at this one card here. The Woodland Champion. Whenever 1 or more tokens enter the battlefield under our control, we're going to put that many +1 counters on Woodland Champion. So as we're making all these tokens, we can make the Woodland Champion get big and scary and make them want to remove that. Or use it as a threat. So now we're going to get into the sacrificing things. We've got the Ruthless Technomancer. When it enters the battlefield, we may sacrifice another creature we control. And if we do, we create a number of treasure tokens equal to the creature's power. So sacking and creating tokens. If we pay 2 and a black, we can sack X artifacts. So more sacking. And we can return target creature card with power X or less from our grave to the battlefield. So we can get things back that we've sacrificed. We've got Eretsugu, Devouring Chaos. If we pay a black, we can sack a creature and scry 2. Really, so we can sack things, that's probably all we want to do. But we can pay 2 and a red to tap it and exile the top card of our library. And we can play that card this turn. When we exile a non-land card this way, it ends up dealing damage equal to the exiled card's mana value to any target. We've also got the Kuru Dreadmaw. It's got Defender, but if we pay 1 and a green, we get to sack another creature, and we gain life equal to the sacked creature's toughness. We've also got the Chittering Witch. So when it enters, we create a number of 1/1 Black Rat creature tokens equal to the number of opponents we have. So we got some token making there. And if we pay 1 and a black, we can sack a creature, and target creature gets -2/-2 till end of turn. Possible removal, as well as you get that sack trigger off of Korvold. We got the Priest of Forgotten Gods. If we tap it, we sack 2 other creatures. Any number of target players each lose 2 life and sack a creature. And then we add 2 black and draw a card. So a little ramp there too in card draw. We got the Ravenous Squirrel. Whenever we sack an artifact or creature, we put a +1 counter on the Ravenous Squirrel. So it can get big too on its own. If we pay 1, a black and a green, we get to sack an artifact or creature, and we could gain a life and draw a card. So a little more card draw. Also helping itself get bigger. We've got Savvy Hunter. So when it attacks or blocks, we create a food token. So more token generation. And if we sack 2 foods, we get to draw a card. We have Eaten Alive. So as an additional cost to cast the spell, we sack a creature or pay 3 and a black. We're going to sack a creature, of course, because we want that trigger. And then we get to exile target creature or planeswalker. Same with, we got Blood for Bones. As an additional cost, we sack a creature so we can get that trigger. And then we're going to return a creature card from our graveyard to the battlefield. Then return another creature card from our graveyard to our hand. So again, we could be bringing things back. And we've also got the Lich Knight's Conquest. So we can sack any number of artifacts, enchantments, or tokens, and then we can return that many creature cards from our grave to the battlefield. So this is a nice way to get a whole lot of those sack triggers from Korvold and bring back a whole lot of things that could be trouble. Trouble for your opponents, not for you. So there are a few cards here that care about this sack stuff, sacrificing stuff. We got a Mayhem Devil. So whenever a player sacrifices a permanent, so this will also trigger if your opponents sack anything. Mayhem Devil deals 1 damage to any target. We've got the Vindictive Vampire. So whenever another creature you control dies, it deals 1 damage to each opponent and we gain a life. We've also got Sir Conrad the Grim, of course. When another creature dies or a creature card is put into a graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, or a creature card leaves our graveyard, Sir Conrad the Grim deals 1 damage to each opponent. We can also pay 1 and a black, so each player puts the top card of their library into their graveyard. We'll probably just go with the triggers we get from all the sacrificing we might do. We've got Molder Vine Reclamation. So whenever a creature we control dies, we gain a life and we get to draw a card. So we got some more card draw going on here. And we've got Grave Pact. So whenever a creature we control dies, each other player sacrifices a creature. So you can try to keep their numbers down with this one. And we may be doing quite a bit of this. So we got a few cards here. We've seen a couple of cards that'll bring things back. We got a few more that'll bring things back as well, since we will be sacrificing. Not just tokens. I'm sure we'll sacrifice some of our permanents, or people will destroy them and we'll want them back. So we got the Golgari Findbroker. When it enters the battlefield, we return target permanent card from our grave to our hand. We've also got a Timeless Witness. So when it enters the battlefield, we return target card from our grave to our hand. It's also got Eternalize, so we can exile the card from our graveyard, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 zombie. So I guess we can do it again. I think that's a little pricey, but hey, if you got the mana, you got the mana. We've also got Diregraph Rebirth. It costs 1 less to cast for each creature that died this turn. So we can return target creature card. We could return target creature card from our graveyard to the battlefield. It's also got Flashback. And we got Retrieve. So we could return up to 1 target creature card and up to 1 target non-creature permanent card from our graveyard to our hand. Then we have to exile it. And just in case we're running out of cards, we got Blessed Respite. So target player shuffles their graveyard into their library. And then we get to prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. So it's a little bit of two things here. Use it wisely. Maybe later in the game when you want to refill your library with your graveyard if it's been getting too big. But you got to use it at the right time because you can also protect your creatures during combat. So we got a few things that'll buff here. So as we know, we've got quite a few squirrels. So we got the Squirrel Sovereign. That's because it's on theme. Other squirrels we control get +1/+1, so they got a little buff there. We've also got the Contortionist Troop. So it enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. You can pay into X when you cast it. And at the beginning of your end step, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So a little thing that can buff things up there. We got the Thundering Mightmare. It's got Soul Bond, so we can pair this creature with another unpaired creature when either enters the battlefield. And they remain paired for as long as you control both of them. So as long as Thundering Mightmare is paired with another creature, each of those creatures has, whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a +1 counter on this creature. So somebody will probably want to get rid of it. But it is a good way to threaten. I dare you. Keep casting spells. I dare you. Just going to buff my people. This card I found very handy. Helena and Alina. Partners. First strike and reach. At the beginning of combat on our turn, we put X +1 counters on another target creature we control where X is their power. That creature gains haste till end of turn. So the haste is nice. The +1 counters is nice. So when we're putting +1 counters, sometimes it's nice to buff them up and then they can buff up somebody else, like Korvold. So with Korvold, as you can see, we are going to be going for commander damage. We've also got Necrosynthesis. So enchant creature has, whenever another creature dies, put a +1 counter on this creature. When an enchanted creature dies, we're going to look at the top X cards of our library where X is its power. Then we're going to put one of those cards into our hand and the rest on the bottom in a random order. So you can attack with, there are a few creatures in here that'll get big that you can attack with and go for big damage. But the most part is, you're going to be using Korvolds to try to get in commander damage. So you're going to be making him big if people don't remove him. Good luck. Good luck with that. But if you can, make him big, go in for commander damage. You should be able to do that in almost one shot. That's the best way to go. That way you can do it before, hopefully, somebody removes it. So to help that damage get through, we've got the Dawnheart Mentor. When it enters, we create a 1/1 white human creature token. So another token thing there. But if we pay 5 and a green, target creature you control gets +3/+3 and gains trample until end of turn. You have to have 3 or more creatures with different powers to use it, but I'm sure you can manage that. Duskshell Crawler. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1 counter on target creature, and each creature you control with a +1 counter on it has trample. Korvold should have +1 counters, so, well, definitely should have. So we're going to be giving him trample and going in for that commander damage kill. We've also got the Wedding Invitation. It enters the battlefield, we get to draw a card. So if we tap it and sacrifice it, target creature can't be blocked this turn. If it's a vampire, it gains lifelink. It's not a vampire, it's Korvold the dragon. So we're just looking so Korvold can't be blocked, and we can get in that commander damage for the win. We got Hunter's Prowess. It's a hefty 5 mana. But until end of turn, target creature gets +3/+3, gains trample, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, we draw that many cards. We've also got Press the Advantage for 4. Up to 2 target creatures, each get +2/+2 and gain trample. We've got Massive Might. This one's nice and cheap. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains trample till end of turn. And for our last trampler, we've got Lunar Frenzy. So X and a red. Target creature you control gets +X/+0 and gains first strike and trample till end of turn. So hopefully with all these tramplers and these buffs, you can get Korvold up and do a one-shot on each player. The hardest part is trying to make sure Korvold doesn't get removed. Don't really have anything in the way of that, but short of Korvold's doing the removing with commander damage, you do have a few other creatures that can buff, or you can go wide with the squirrels. Really, there's a couple of other ways to go. Korvold's the main thing, but yeah, just expect him to get removed. So you may have to go with wide squirrels or a couple of those other creatures that can buff themselves. So I hope it gave you some ideas, and thanks for watching.